Let's start with a quote of the day. And this one is from Anita Kriza, and it says, you do not have to move mountains. Simply fall in love with life. Be a tornado of happiness, gratitude, and acceptance. You will change the world just by being a warm, kind-hearted human being. I'm just going to read that again. You do not have to move mountains. Simply fall in love with life. Be a tornado of happiness, gratitude, and acceptance, and you will change the world just by being a warm, kind-hearted human being. And it goes a long way. It goes a long, long way. You just being warm, being kind-hearted, being caring, being all those beautiful things. You don't have to be like, I am feeding 1 million people in I don't know what part of the world. You don't have to do all of that. You don't have to be like, I am paying rent, I am clothing. It doesn't have to be big, humongous. But if you're doing those things, sour. But if you're not able to do all of that, just be warm. Share that smile this morning with a stranger. Help somebody up the stairs if they fall. Apo kipanda mathri one tu kuna msia nangangana. Just give way. Those tiny little things go a long way in making the life of the person that you just touched be better, be smiling, be, just do good, people. Do good. Karibuni sana to Full Circle with Mikali. I am Mikali, of course, right? And starting us on this show, I told you about vision boards. Yesterday, we touched a bit on it, but questions left, right, center, ioninini. There's so much more than just, goal setting. So to talk to us about all of this is none other than the expert himself, George Ngoge. He is also the executive coach at Dell Training Limited. Karibu sana kwenye show.
Thank you, Mikali. It's great to be here, and Happy New Year. It's not too late.
It's
not too late to say Happy New Year.
You look really good.
Thank you. And so do you. So do you. 2021, this year.
Yes. Yesterday we had a whole dance about 2021. I get it. The year of restoration. This
there
is
you
it.
go.
We're here
there
to
you
claim
go.
it.
And we claim it. And
yes.
we claim it. And in that spirit of talking about vision boards.
Yes.
The thing about and just like the famous song, it's about calling into existence or speaking into existence what is not yet. Can I say that again?
Yeah.
You need to call and you need to speak into existence that which has not yet manifested. Mm-hmm. So by doing that, you begin to cause it to happen. If you want to say the universe, if you want to say by declaring with your mouth, with your tongue, that will happen, depending on what you believe and who you believe in, even as a Christian, But by starting to literally call it on or to draw it forth, So vision boards go back, and I mean, some of the I'd like to say in popular culture, we have The Secret, the book and the movie, which of course made it very famous, and Oprah also did quite a bit on that. Just talking about how you need to be able to literally start to give color and imagery to what it is you want to see manifest in your life.
Wow. So this is not just writing it down, because I mean, for the longest time we've been told, if you have any plans, goals you want to achieve, just take a piece of paper, write them down. So this is different from that.
So I want to say taking it to the next level, because you see, writing down is great. You can journal, and I mean even the good book, the Bible says in Habakkuk, write a vision, make it plain. What you want to achieve and to see happen. So I don't want to take anything from that. Yeah.
Okay.
But you see, with the many, I'd like to say, tools we have at our disposal, with mixed media. Of course, when vision boards became really big, magazines, when we had glossy magazines, that was the thing, and you had, of course, your Cosmos, and you had your Elle and Vogue and Vanity Fair, name it. And so obviously you'd see all these amazing, glamorous, pictures and features of things that, the things that people would like to have, aspirational things. Of course, the world has moved and media has moved dramatically. Now we're in electronic media and digital media.
Yeah.
And so it's really just about using what tool you have to give vivid color to those words. And so just like if I use this mural you have behind you, if you were to use a mural like this, or obviously probably a smaller one, like a cardboard, and maybe take cutouts. So how we've seen it in the traditional sense, you get some of magazines and like a scrapbook, you get like maybe furniture you like, dream vacation, or a dream car, your ideal body size, There's certain things people want to see happen in, like whether it's your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, your relational, all the aspects of life. And you start to actually pick out, if you go through a number of probably, and even psychologists do that sometimes, they give you images, coaches do it as well, they give you images to say, just they allow you to shuffle through different images.
Okay.
And you can probably pick on an image and say,
out.
yeah, this speaks to me. And then now we ask you then, okay, tell me a little bit more about this. So you're basically having a very deep dialogue. And we like to say, of course, the creative part of your brain and the logical part of your brain, coming from the logical part of your brain to your creative. Because in your most creative part of your brain, that's where art, music, and a lot of
everything else
is released.
Yes.
And so that's what it really is, just taking it to the next level, taking images, like I said, if it's on magazines. Now people have gone digital with vision boards. You can actually do it with your laptop, with your pad, with your tab.
Newspapers on the tabs now.
Exactly. And so you can be able to, with many of the nice editing softwares,
Yeah.
you can actually be able to work on your vision board. In a short while, I'll explain why even now with the digital space and with of course the tools we have at disposal, why that's a big benefit. Remember we said we'll be talking about the ABCs of vision boarding.
Yes, the ABCs of vision boards, which is amazing.
So in a short while, I'll actually explain why it's very, very useful.
Okay.
To have digital. And maybe we could just get into it without further ado.
Please, why not?
So I promised to do ABCs of vision boarding. So I've got a bonus. In fact, I'm gonna give even a D. So it'll be A, B, C. That's 2021 for you. A D.
We create as we go. I mean, that's the beauty of life.
Absolutely. And so for A, it's a triple threat. The thing about vision boards, there has been some criticism because some people feel like it's just a dream. Some people it's actually called a dream board as well. So you have vision or dream board. But the thing about the vision and the dream, some people get stuck in that.
Oh, so
you
this
can't
helps you actualize it.
That's the thing. So without action, in fact, some people have actually moved from now vision boarding to action boarding. So you don't just put up the nice images and have this glamorous glitz.
That you want for yourself.
But what's the path between that which you desire and what which you desire and where you are today, your ideal future state and where you are today? You need to actually map the steps you will need to take exactly to get to that. So the first for A is 3. I say first is action. It has to be action oriented. You need to be able to give some flesh into that amazing ideal future state. What shall I do?
So say for example, I'm going to do this, guys, again, so forgive me. So I want to be size 12.
So the ideal body size.
Yes.
Or ideal I want to be a certain level of fitness or health and wellness, yeah?
Yeah.
Great. What does that look like? I mean, it's like...
There's a picture of that. There's a Priyanka Chopra there.
There you go. There you go. Or even if you want to make a more specific event on that. Like, let's say I want to run a marathon.
Yes.
Either a Stanchart marathon, and traditionally, before COVID, it has always been like in October. And so we're in January. And so if I say I want to run the Stanchart marathon, there are certain things I need to say
yes.
and do.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to join a gym. Maybe I need to get a nice pair of trainers. Maybe I need to, watch what I eat, etc., etc. So we need to actually see steps that are actually observable, and people can say, look, Mikali is actually preparing for that.
Yeah.
So that not one day, like in October or late September, you just wow people and say, I'm ready for the marathon.
Yeah.
But people who've been around you are like, really?
You're not going to do it. You'll just walk through it.
So that's the thing. So we need to actually see actionable steps, that almost like micro goals that build up to the bigger goal.
Okay.
So action is number 1. So it's for A, it's 3. Action. The second thing is agility. And that's why I talked about digital.
Okay.
2020 taught us one thing.
Yes.
Things can easily happen in a way different from what we expected. And I'm using those words very carefully because I don't talk about words like, negative words. People talked about collapse, talked about failure, talked about all sorts of disheartening and negative statements.
Yeah.
But it's outcomes, talking about outcomes that are a little bit different from what you expected. Despite what everybody said, of course, in the beginning, people said 2020 is my year, then things went a different way in certain ways. There are so many amazing, amazing things that happened this year.
Yeah.
People got new jobs.
People move to the yes, hallelujah. Hey,
Go ahead. People move to
digital spaces, like
digital.
Businesses we never knew that could actually.
Even our business. In fact, right now, so much of the work we are doing is online. We move from delivering in-person coaching and training into virtual, and that looks like it's like the way to go for the foreseeable future. People got babies.
Yeah.
I got a new baby in 2020.
Yeah,
people got married. People got new houses. And there are so many moves and so on and so on and so forth. So what the thing is, the reality is, you're likely to get outcomes that are different.
Yep.
Not fail, but slightly different outcomes. And that what makes the journey of life amazing.
That's true.
And so not to be so stuck like a static image.
You need to be agile.
You need to be agile. So your vision board needs to be agile. And that's where digital comes in very well, because say March, April, something changes and you see, maybe I need to tweak this a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So
Maybe
agility.
not pay the gym because the amount of money I don't have, I'll go to Karora.
There you go, or run down the
Yeah.
road
Yeah.
from where I live.
Yes.
So starting to see how can I pivot to fit whatever circumstances I'm facing.
Okay.
The last A,
Let's just take a short break right there. I hope you guys got the 2 A's right there. That is just the A of
vision board.
vision board. So we're going to take a very short commercial break. We'll be right back, but just let us know, what is it that you want to achieve this year? 111 444 111 for just a shilling. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mwikali. And Yana, I don't know, do you have your vision board ready? If it's the first time you're hearing about it, we're talking about all of that. George Ngugi is in the building. Na tunaongea juu ya kutengeneza. And we talked about the ABC and a surprise D. We're going to get to that. But in the A's, there are three of them, and we've talked about 2. We talked about action, how your goals need to have little mini goals in between to help you get to the big goal. And you need to be very agile. So those were the 2 A's. We have one last A.
Correct.
Yes.
And that last A is accountability.
Okay.
Ultimately, for you to achieve whatever it is you're putting on your vision board, it's not a secret, you know. The vision board, actually, you put it up on the wall, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important to have someone who can keep you accountable. For the married folks, I guess it's one of the easiest people to have keep you accountable, probably and make the vision or dream board with is your better half.
Yeah.
And so from time to time, you probably need to check in either on a monthly or bi-monthly or a quarterly basis and see how is it going, you know. And you should be vulnerable and open enough to allow that person to even challenge you and say, I know you said you'll run the marathon, but the way things are going,
Yes.
I think you need to, you know, they put you in check, or you know, or just question, you know. And so even for the people at home, I'd like to really ask you this question: who in your life today can you actually call on in 2021 and beyond to keep you accountable? It's very important.
That's a very deep question, because it's introspective. You just even look at the people around you and be like, can they? Will they?
Yeah, you need to find a person.
Yes.
So even as we close this, or rather as we get towards the end of this conversation,
Yes.
I'd like everybody to think about who can I actually call on.
Yeah.
And now we have virtual tools, so I can even be talking to someone across the world.
Yep.
Who can I walk with? Who are we on the same journey with, and can keep me accountable
Yeah.
to achieve this on my vision board?
Wow. Those are the A's.
So moving along swiftly into the B's. B is for belief.
Okay.
Your belief system is so important. Why? Because it's like that internal operating system. It's your identity. It's what sort of, it's what drives, or it's even the wind beneath your sails in terms of, will I actually be able to do that? You see, when you put up a vision board, you probably put a dream house up there, you put up a dream vacation, you put up your job of or your spouse, whatever it is, or even the family, how you want your family to be, or, or even the car. There are certain things that, and in coaching, we do a lot to speak and to challenge and to find out what are those. There are a lot of limiting beliefs a lot of us bear.
Okay.
There are a lot of certain views, I'd like to use the word skewed views of ourselves we have.
Okay.
And obviously, a lot of things that happen in the world cause that to happen, so to speak. In other words, our beliefs and what we believe, either because you've had, let me call it, like we call it, different outcomes. You tried something, it didn't come out so well.
Yeah.
You had a tough year, you had a tough relationship or something. Yeah. So that causes you to start to feel like you can't do it. You're like, can I really get that
if I
job?
if it didn't work out this time, or if Nani didn't do it and they're better than me.
Yeah. Do I really deserve it, you know?
That's true.
Do people from where I come from really get to have the job, the car, all those things?
Yeah.
And so we need to really start to speak into that, because at the core of our identity, we need to look and see, at the core of my identity, is there something that's causing me not to be able to, I have it on the wall, but not to connect with that which I desire to be.
So you're just putting it up there because you're required to. It's a thing
that's
that you
a thing.
do.
And we've worked
but
with
you
many
deep
people.
down, you don't believe that you deserve or can get it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. And we've worked with many people, including organizations and teams, where we actually have them do personal vision boards. But even as a team, they do a vision board for the organization.
Okay.
And what happens is that when you do strategy, because at this point of the year, everybody's doing strategy. And the funny thing about strategy, people sometimes do strategy, and we put it up and we share it.
Yeah.
But some people don't take it in. They don't buy it. They don't internalize it. Like we talk about it in meetings, but you don't actually believe it. So number 2, the B is belief. If you don't believe it, you're not fooling anybody.
But how would you change that situation as a coach? How would you help someone who grew up knowing that kwetu hakuna mtu alienda university, and maybe I'm older into it, ama maybe because of certain beliefs, ama certain things that have been said to me, or how I've been treated, heartbreaks I've gone through. How then do you help a person in that state?
So that's a very good question, Mikali. And just to be clear, the thing is, there's certain, we like to talk about boundaries. So there's what a coach can do, and some things go beyond, because coaching is really helping individuals to be able to bring out, let me even say, their potential. Some of their potential which they've been able to realize, some of the things that they're able to do, which they have just not been able to do because of blockers. Starting to identify, starting to give awareness to the individual, starting to give feedback to the individual, with feedback with which they can actually introspect and act on differently. You know, for instance, people say, look, I've never been able to make relationships or friendships with people I don't know. Last year, people met people who they have now met in person, and they had very deep relationships, they had very deep friendships, and did business, etc. And so or 2020, like, I can never work from home, you know. And so it's just like the way how even sometimes circumstances happen, and make you change your mindset. So the job of a coach is to just give you feedback about what you're saying and what you're really saying, and challenge you, ask questions that make you think.
Okay.
However, there are certain times you may need to go beyond. You may need to get help of a counseling psychologist, because maybe there's some hurts, some trauma that you've been through. So there are other resource people like counseling psychologists, you know, even our religious leaders. And so there's certain very clear paths you may need to go to, and it's for you as an individual to see, okay, where am I at? What could it be that's limiting me? But in the professional space, or even a mentor, sometimes you just need a mentor, someone to be able to do it before.
Yes.
And you just need them to tell you how to do it. Okay. But for mentoring, coaching, and even training, so that space there, you know, you can go for some training, get some mentorship, or have a coach one-on-one relationship, or maybe if it's a case that you require some support, either with counseling or religious support. But there are all these resources that can be able to make you to connect with your true identity.
That's beautiful.
And who you truly are.
That there is help out there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
So,
you should not take those lies. They are actually lies
Yes.
that the outside world has told you about yourself. Try and truly connect with your true identity. And then you start to make your vision board dreams start to become a reality.
that is the B, guys. It is possible to believe. I know they look big and grand, but you can actually achieve them if you believe.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the C.
C is communicate positively, which comes closely to the B.
Okay.
Because once you believe it in your heart, you know, and you know, of course, people like to say, I've seen this quote, whether you believe you can do it or you can't do it, you're both right. And so you need to, of course, once believe it, but you also need to communicate. We're going to do this. And especially as a leader of your family, as a leader of your marriage, you know, as a guy, or even whoever, you know, as a parent, we are doing this. It doesn't matter. We are doing this. We are doing this. We're doing this. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Alarm.
I've seen you on TV.
Yes.
This is what happens.
And so, communicate.
Yes.
Communicate positively, despite despite what the circumstances are looking like, you know. And we talk about coaches, award-winning coaches, or coaches who have challenged their teams. Or I can even talk about Alexander the Great, who, when he got onto the shores where he was fighting with his troops, and he was outnumbered, I think, more than 10 times. What did he say to his people? He said, "Burn those ships." What he meant, and he said that we're not going back with these ships. You guys were thinking that we can go back, that we can back out. We have no return home. The only way we're going to go back home is with the ships of our enemies. And those guys fought for their lives because they literally were fighting for their lives. And so how can you be able to communicate as a leader and inspire and challenge people and say, look, the odds may be looking difficult, but we can do this. And so communicate, speak to yourself, speak to people around you, speak even to the challenges, speak even to the lies, and say, no, I am well. Even sometimes people, in fact, they say this positivity versus negativity. There's actually evidence that shows there are cases of people with similar, call it illnesses. Or similar, you know, like physical ailments in hospital, and someone has a positive outlook, sometimes very difficult diseases or ailments, one gets better. And the other person who had a negative outlook doesn't, despite all that, you know, they lose their life. And so you have to speak positively, continuously, throughout the year, to whatever is on your vision board. And when you put it up on the wall, you get up in the morning, you say, I'm going to do it. And you've seen how even people like in movies look in the mirror and say, you are amazing, you are strong. So keep doing it. Speak positive, speak life into your dreams. And then they become reality. And the D, finally, which is, of course, the bonus, is the domino. We like to talk about domino. You need to be able to start a domino effect. Domino effect. Just like the micro goals, what are the critical things you need to do to, you know, like the dominoes. If you line up dominoes from here up to Nyayo Stadium,
Yes.
they'll keep going.
They'll keep going for sure.
Yeah, tiny as they are, but they'll keep going.
Yes.
So what is that little step you need to take today
To
that
make
will
a
trigger a
spiraling
second step,
effect.
yeah, and a third step, and a fourth step? And dominoes work both ways. You can have a domino effect negatively,
Okay.
and you've seen people really spiral and go down the drain, whether it's relationships, whether it's ethically, in business, financially, name it, right down to ruin. In the similar breath, you can stop that effect if you're on that path, and you can start another domino effect.
That is
And
positive.
so it's to identify. Let me speak again to the person watching. What
Okay.
is it that you can line up as critical steps? Step 1, 2, 3, 4. That if I line these steps up, this will impact this, will impact this, will impact this. Like we said about even running the marathon.
Yeah.
You don't win the marathon or the World Cup final or whatever final big thing it is in the first day, on the first day.
Yeah.
But there are certain small steps you have to do in January, February, March to get to the final success point. So identify your dominoes. What do I need to have lined up? You know, people say I have my ducks lined up in a row.
Yes.
What are they to get to the vision board? So let there be action steps. Let there be steps that can trigger other steps and ultimately get you to the
place.
to the place you to go.
So I would let me just try to think about this place that we kept talking about doing the marathon, and so we talked about the action points where you need to probably start working out. You need to get the right kicks for it. You need to get the right outfits for that.
Absolutely.
Do they also fall in line with the dominoes as well?
Absolutely, because if you thank you, perfect. That's like what you've said. Like even your ideal size, like I know brides do this all the time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! And soon you might be there, starving yourself. Like I need to fit in this beautiful gown.
Yes.
And you know, I've been with a couple of my friends. One of my close friends got married last year, and I remember we'd hung out with the couple before the wedding, and we're having a meal, and like the bride would have like nothing, you know, and like I'm literally I have to get into that gown. I don't know how it goes, like when you pick the gown and then you
Yes,
decide
you
the
pick
size.
the gun and you're like, yes, it's the vision board. It's the vision board for the bride. That is where I will fit in.
And so we are having this amazing meal. We are having a blast, including the groom.
Yes.
And like she's having like almost nothing. You know what I
Oh
mean?
God, salads.
And so that's the thing about the domino. So like, or like even we talk about the marathon, there are certain things which we love to do. Maybe it's a Friday partying. Maybe it's even the binge watching some series, you know. Maybe it's there are certain things we love to do. But you know. I'm so proud of myself this last Christmas, because every Christmas I actually give myself a break. I don't watch Netflix. I don't have a subscription of Netflix. I don't have a subscription of any, and this may be bad with the sponsor or anything. And obviously they are great, right? But I realize there are certain things which are in direct conflict with your achieving your goals. That's for me as George.
Okay.
Because if I sit and binge watch a series for 21 hours or 14 hours
Yes.
or 15 hours,
Yeah.
there's something that's going to have to give. If I'm online on the internet for God knows how long, something's going to give. So it's very important for you to choose.
Okay.
They have the images of the
Yes,
vision
we
board.
do.
And so you literally just get a pair of scissors, get a nice board, get some glue, you know. You
Yeah.
just cut up images of what speaks to you. And you have finally a nice little collage or montage, you know,
Yeah.
and you put it up on the wall. And even if it's not digital, you can still pull, maybe you may need to add an image, you may need to get a felt pen and write something, what this image means to you. You may need to even tick off when it happens, you know.
Yes, or even the little action steps that
Yes,
you need to do.
you can say step
before.
1, 2, 3, my
Yes.
ideal wedding destination, or my
Yes.
ideal retirement home, or financial freedom, financial security plan. And step 1, step 2, step 3. This is who I want to be known as in the society. This is the identity I want to be. I want to be someone who speaks for children, who speaks for marriage, who speaks for whatever it is. Write it down, you know. And so that vision board will, every day you get up and put it somewhere like where, you know, like when you wake up in the morning or when you're in
You'll
bed.
see it,
You should actually be able to see it when you're in bed. So that you can get out of bed. That's at least not enough to get out of bed. Or when you have
Yes.
your laptop or your TV and you're watching something which you should not be watching because it's not helping you get on your path.
Yes.
It helps you get up and say, let's do this.
And it can be for every single aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
If I want to get married this year, maybe you've been courting for a while. This is what we need to do. If I want to have a baby by this time. So
Absolutely.
is it like a yearly thing, or you can do a long-term vision board for like the next maybe 5 years? This is where I want to be and stuff like that.
So I don't want to give a defined period, but something interesting. So I remember last time I did a vision board proper was around 2018, say Q1, around March 2018. And so I was looking at it, still what we're running with, because it was big, hairy, audacious goals. Very audacious and very...
Was it occupying like a whole wall?
Well, a lot of it as big, maybe half of your full circle thing,
Okay.
you know. But one of the thing, or rather one quarter. One of the thing is there's one goal I had, which looked like a very mid and long-term goal, which was actually, I've always loved to live in the country, like a nice country home, or like on a standalone on a compound.
Yeah.
Which is very funny because of Nairobi life, you live like 5 minutes from or 5 kilometers from everywhere,
Yes.
like close to radius.
Yeah.
So it was never looking like it would ever happen,
Yeah.
Okay, plus COVID happened.
Yeah.
But long story short, last year towards the end, we got this amazing home,
Oh, wow.
which is literally what I had vision. But when I put it on the board, it looked like something that could happen 7 years from now.
Yes.
And so that's the thing about vision board. Sometimes something will, and that's why it's good to have it on the board. You will be surprised, like, oh my goodness, this has happened already. And so that's when maybe you might need to do a new vision board, because probably some of your goals and dreams might begin to be achieved. And you're like, I probably need to do an updated vision board.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a good problem
Yes.
when your vision board becomes sort of like stale
Yes.
or expired. And so that's my challenge to you. Start today, make your 2021 vision board. Let's see how long it will last.
Yeah, and it's a bit like when your intentions are in line with the things that you're working with.
Absolutely.
Because you didn't see it coming that fast, but it did come.
Absolutely.
And what happens? Say, for example, you have a vision board for 2021.
Yes.
You've put up everything. I want to start my company this year. I want to do da 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 da. And by March, you've already accomplished like one. Like to-do list.
Go you. Or one, you've accomplished
Yes,
one. I thought you
yes,
might
just
accomplish all of
one,
them. Okay,
just
all right,
one,
all right.
just one.
Okay.
So by March, you're like, oh, I needed to be whatever. I've gotten it.
Yes.
Then like the to-do list, how you just cancel out stuff.
Yes.
Do you go on the vision board and be like, done? Or what do you
Good,
do?
because it's your
It
little
is
bit of
my vision
artwork.
board.
Please go crazy with it,
Yeah.
In fact, I know there are people who collect journals. Like you have
Yes.
journals from like 5 years ago, and sometimes you go back to them and you're like, oh my gosh, sometimes you tear up, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you actually get in the habit of doing vision boards, and then you actually collect, or you have a time you just go back. And these are the amazing things you can do over the holidays before New Year's, That period of time people don't know what to do with their lives, and you're decluttering.
Yeah, you're just all over.
Can
You're
you-
just free.
Can you imagine how you would be feeling emotionally to see a vision board from 7 years ago? Think about your life. Think about your journey. Let me now make it about you as
Yes,
Mikali.
okay.
Did you ever imagine, or maybe did you envision you'd be where you are today? And if you go back 7 years ago, where were you in your journey?
I always wanted, I didn't have a vision board, but I wanted my name.
On
I
a-
wanted my
somewhere.
name on my show. So when it happened, I was like, oh my God, it wasn't a vision board, but the intention then speaking into it and saying that I'd like this, I would like that. And I tried to force it a while back, but it didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
But then it came when you least expected. So it is amazing when you put your head, your heart in line with what you want to do. And now that we know about vision boards, then I think it's a thing to do. And my time is up. My time
It was
is
up a while ago.
Yeah, I know. A while ago, you saw that. Yeah, you saw that. But how can people get in touch with you if people need help with this? I know you do a lot of coaching with the
Absolutely,
corporates and
absolutely.
even individuals.
Absolutely.
How can people get in touch?
So social media right now is the main thing you can use. You can catch us on Instagram, George Ngoge, Delf Training Limited. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. You can come to our website, delftraining.com, and just connect with us, and we can be able to see how to support you along your journey.
Absolutely.
As
Thank
an
you so much for
individual,
coming
as an
to
organization as well.
Pass our love to Faith.
We'll do.
All right.